Hi, you're with Stacy Suniga and the Sham Unveiled. Well, this last week, President Trump and his crony, Vice President Vance, just shamed the American people on the world stage with an inappropriate takedown of President Zelensky of Ukraine. They were there to discuss peace from the war with Russia, but they had caveats for President Zelensky. Number one, they tried to force him to acknowledge that they were the instigators of this war, not Russia, who invaded their country unprovoked. And Zelensky wasn't having it. Good for him. Also, what you got to know is in the background, they wanted this peace talk because the United States wants to take control of precious minerals in Ukraine, and that was on the table. You admit that you're at fault, not true, and give us those minerals. So it kind of turned into a heated exchange, and Zelensky had every right to stand up for himself and his country and their democracy, as he told them, I did not start this war. Our people have died. Our democracy is at stake, and we need help. But Trump was more interested in having attention and focus on him. So when J.D. Vance opened up and said, do you think this is appropriate to have this conversation in front of the American people? And he had every right. He was invited to the White House. The press was there. That was all Trump and Vance is doing, their administration. They didn't like it that Zelensky stood up for himself and his country, and this is what ensued.
Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
saying,
cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the
president
lives of millions of people.
You're
gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War, and what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
Well, there you have it. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance acting like two junkyard pit bulls going after an injured rabbit that is trapped inside of their cage. These are our leaders. God, how embarrassing. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance made a spectacle of this nation because Zelensky was not letting down support for his people and the need that they have for their help, that they have been fighting this hellacious war for 3 years. They need our help. They need the world's help to stop this maniac in Russia whom Trump adores. And Trump and Vance are trying to shine. They're trying to shine because they so emulate all of these dictators who take over lands and take over power and prestige and money, and so anti-democratic. How dare both of them downplay the ravages of war that this president has suffered from, that his people have suffered from, and he courageously has continued to lead them through these years, through rubble, devastation, loss of life. He is trying to protect the people for whom he is beholden to. He is their leader. He wants this to stop. He wants death and injury and a loss of land and life to stop. But of course, what we saw in the Oval Office there was just another carrot to dangle to say, if you want peace, then you need to admit you started this war, and you need to hand over your precious minerals to the United States so that we can come and exploit your country for our gain. People, we are no longer the leaders of free democracy. We are no longer the leaders of peace and of freedom. Trump is giving that away on behalf of himself for his own good, through fear tactics and arguing and being the giant baby that he is. He wants to get his way to gain more power and, honestly, more riches. And you saw in that room, all of those little sycophants are right there with them because, you know what? They want to suck the tea. You know, right now, they have made America the weakest it's ever been since World War II. After World War II, America was a leader in democracy, establishing allies and programs that would emulate freedom that we are supposed to have. But Ukraine admired to accomplish until Russia stepped in, their little self-absorbed Putin. I got to tell you, we are being sold out. We are being thrown to the wolves because of greed and because of simple pride. And because we have maniacs right now leading our nation. And we do not deserve this as Americans. We do not deserve to have our freedoms and our safety challenged because we have dictator wannabes, plutocrats leading this country. You know, I don't care who you are, what you believe, what your policies are politically. All of us are better than this, and we deserve more. We need to demand that this administration take a step back and start representing the needs and the good of the people of this country, not the few richest in the world, or not those that couldn't give a damn about what happens to the people they're supposed to lead. We are not throwaways. That's not who we are. We are Americans, and we are proud when our country is doing good, when our country is advancing democracy. And that's not happening right now. We need to fight.